Welcome back to another R&D podcast here in Raiderland. Very little research, no development. I'm Ryan Hyatt. He is David Collier from Red Raider Nation. I can tell because he's dressed much nicer than I am today.
For a podcast.
You survived the weekend and you didn't electrocute yourself. That's kind of a good combination these days.
Yeah, I'm still
home repair, I'm impressed.
Well, no, you wouldn't be impressed if you knew how much I failed at it recently. But yeah, eventually we'll have a light in the kitchen. Sorry, honey.
The only excitement I discovered over the weekend was a bag of trash that I didn't know was sitting on the side of the porch, type deal, and it was, it was not pleasant for everybody involved. Luckily, where I am, you can just set it on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
You just walk a few feet and just burn it up.
People go, looks like there's a fire out there. It looks tiny. We'll just let it be.
How about this for a segue? Burning it up. Texas Tech men's basketball against LSU, 3-point land early on. Am I overstating how important I think the weekend was for Texas Tech from an NCAA standpoint? You get a win against a non-conference opponent. Last time you can do that. You do it convincingly. Oh, and hey, some of the better teams in the Big 12, they're putting up NCAA marks, won as well. Did this set the stage for a big, 2-week, 4-game cycle coming up for Tech?
Oh, it did, because if they lost that game, we would be talking NIT at this point. I think obviously they could have gone on a run, but everybody would have been down in the dumps, dumpster fire. We'll keep that fire thing going.
Yes.
It would have been a mess, but they played like you expect them to play. They took care of business, and I think going into, like you said, a very important stretch with some struggling, the bottom half of the teams, not with Kansas in there, but you know what I'm saying.
You know, it was big as well, I think. You do that at home in front of fans, and I'm not knocking Tech fans. These are fans in general. LSU, hey, that's a name.
Yeah.
And you beat them, and we had a good crowd, and the kids were dressed up like, goofy ESPN personalities, who, by the way, I heard what they were saying, actually more entertaining than ESPN broadcasters.
Wow.
Kudos to you guys. But I think that also goes a long way for Chris Beard in this program right now, building up some credibility with the fans.
Oh, it does.
I think you get them back.
Yeah, you get them back, and like you said, it's a name. I think all of us know that LSU isn't quite up to where they've been in years past. Even last year when they had Ben Simmons, I think it's a complete train wreck.
But the average kid in Coleman Hall doesn't know.
No.
The average person driving down the road today doesn't know. They just say, hey, LSU, you beat them. That's great.
We beat an SEC school. There was only 4 others in the Big 12 that did, and people like Oklahoma got throttled. So we're looking better than those guys.
All right. Is this the 2-week stretch, 4-game stretch that Tech makes the tournament? I say it is. You've got to go 3-1. That will include a road win at Texas, something you don't do a whole lot around here over the last couple of decades. Wins at home, TCU, beatable teams coming up. I say you got to go 3-1. Agree, disagree?
Yeah, you have to go 3-1 during that stretch, just because if you look after that, there's some games that you think that the Red Raiders you can't
chalk them up.
Yeah, you can beat Baylor here, but you can't chalk that up as a win. Sweeping West Virginia, a West Virginia team that looks like they're going to be a top 10 team at the end of the year, probably not going to happen. Iowa State, you got Texas here at home towards the end of the stretch. The end, after you get past those Baylor, West Virginias, and Kansas, yes. But if you don't take care of business against Texas and Oklahoma and try to sneak that one out against TCU, 2-2, I guess, because I think I'm a little more bullish than some people maybe. Baylor at home, I think they're going to win that game. I really do.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah. Certainly, if you play the way you played down there, here, I think you get enough of a swing that you've got a great shot to win it. If Texas Tech does not make the NCAA tournament, did this team underachieve, or were they overvalued going in?
I think if you ask Chris Beard that question and had a truth serum in him, I think he would say it either way. I think he would say that they underachieved.
Agreed.
Because of the age of most of these players, all of the graduate transfers he brought in, I think he would agree wholeheartedly on that. But if you look at all of the schools out there that have first-year head coaches, I think you can't expect the NCAA tournament. Jamie Dixon's probably going to get his team there. He's proven himself.
I don't know that anybody expected that.
No, but so
even
that's
with
the next
Dixon
tournament.
coming in.
Exactly. So, as a fan, I think you need to kind of temper yourself a little bit. But Chris Beard, 100% disappointment.
I'm going to agree with him. I think this team is NCAA caliber. I thought that going in, and even without Odiasi there, and that's been a big, non-presence, I think, for him in the inside. I think if they don't, I think that it's fair to say they underachieved. But I think they're going to get there. Know why? Because Joe Lunardi at ESPN says they're one of the last 4 out right now. He's so wrong so often. Of all the predictors, they rank about 30 guys now at the end of the NCAA. He's like 28 every year.
Well, that's where he works,
if Lunardi says you're out, you're in. Now, the minute he moves them in,
then
Tech's in trouble.
Yeah.
National signing coming up on the football side for Kliff Kingsbury. Bottom line, does he coach this signing class when they're seniors?
Man, that's a hard question.
How about that? Off the bat.
That's a slap you in the face question right there. That's a I'm going to pull the I'm a TV guy card maybe.
Yeah. History tells me he doesn't.
History tells you, that he doesn't. But man, I'm just gonna back out of this conversation really slowly. I can't make the shoe squeaky noise. Squeak, squeak, squeak. What would you say about that right now?
I said history tells me that he doesn't. History tells me that coaches who are in the position where he is 4 years in, and even otherwise, that would be a 7-year, 8-year run at one school. That typically doesn't happen right now for good or bad reasons in college athletics. History tells me he probably doesn't. I'd say there's probably a 30% chance that he's their coach when they're seniors.
And you know what might be unfortunate about that is just this class is one of those that it seems like you're not going to get a lot of people on campus when the start of next year starts.
Right.
They're already all here for the most part.
Well, some of them are.
Well, they were.
One got cut.
But they're not. One was here, and yes, he got cut. That would be the way to put it.
Yeah.
Actually, he didn't. Well
there
anyway.
was cutting, I hear.
But you know what I'm saying. They're going to have that extra time here, and if they all eventually do stay down the road, what benefit whoever is here is going to get from having 12 guys here on campus, that extra little bit. And I know that's something that you can't count on, but still.
It helps.
And it's offensive linemen and defensive backs, which I think we'll all agree are things that this team needs.
Yeah, I don't know. If this signing class, though, ranks below Baylor's, you're going to hear some howling. All right? That's all I'm going to say. You're going to hear some howling around these parts. I don't think this class really matters to the future of Kliff Kingsbury. It's the people that are already here. It's a couple of handful that if you're counting on those guys right now and freshmen and newcomers, you're in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
You're in a world of hurt anyways. So I don't think it's going to matter. But we'll have complete signing day coverage here in Raiderland. Also, Red Raider Nation, KMAC 28.
Yes,
we will inundate you with things that you may or may not want to be inundated with.
Pictures of players that are already on campus to tell you that they're still on campus.
They're still here as far as we know.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Travis, it's up to you now. Clean up this monstrosity of a podcast. And you guys want to comment on it, drop us a line right there. And while you're doing that, why don't you click one of those buttons, order you up some great Domino's pizza and do that. Enjoy that tonight while you're listening to the old R&D podcast. We'll see you next week unless we don't.
Don't electrocute yourself, Cran.
Do not electrocute yourself. It's very dangerous.